fans of Heroes of Magic series and the new game Heroes VII. After this great interview that I uploaded in 3 parts because it's a large and long one with Paul and Romero, I'm glad to do that, and thanks again for the participation of the interview, Paul, and for the really good and interesting answers for all of my questions. But now Ubisoft presented a live gameplay demo presentation by 2 of the developers from the developer team, Livic Entertainment, Julien and Xavier Evans. Sorry if I pronounced the names badly, maybe. And this was announced maybe a week ago, so I know that, but many fans maybe couldn't see that, or couldn't know that for obvious other reasons, maybe. So I decided to record it, and I recorded it last day. So I wondered about that I can put it or not, because there were some premiere songs there and I must put it down for my YouTube channel, as Ubisoft rights and limited human rights do so. So yes, I understand it, and I'm sorry for that, and please forgive me. I didn't know that. I thought that you talked about with Mr. Paul Romero, because he let it to do that, and I thought that I can do that, but it's a show that I can't. Sorry for that. So I wondered that I can put it now for my channel or not. I hope I can, because it was live. They premiered it first, so I just put it after 1 week from that. So I hope that I can put it on it. And also there are many fans there all over the world that who aren't on the internet in every minute, and they maybe couldn't watch that exclusive live demonstration about Heroes 7 gameplay. That was the demo, of course. They showed us in this year's August, but this time it was much brighter, much more beautiful. It was beautiful in August too, but they averaged the Unreal Engine 3 shining beautiful measures and scenes now, and of course they have much more to show there. They showed buildings, some buildings, of course not all of them, and some mines on the adventure map. And also they showed Heaven Town in and out. They showed many battles, 3 or 4 battles. 1 or 2 was in a fort, and also in an academy town, as also was in the demonstration and the Gamescom in August. But they showed it really much more focused on the many gameplay possibilities, many newest edition of Heroes 7 and also for the classical formula from the older Heroes games too. So they show the older parts, they borrowed from the older games to Heroes 7, and they also showed the modernized good, really bit graphic, and also the little bit tweaks and little bit new additions by Heroes 7 to this franchise. They also showed that, and of course they showed units from Heaven and many more academy in this. Maybe they just didn't reveal yet, so it's quite a good and interesting video. Many fans talk about that. It's not quite so much new things in it. I don't think so. I think there were many good portion of new little tweaks, little tiny informations there. Also about the spells, about the spell books, about the skill system, new skill system, and we just know it, if I heard well, that there will be no bosses. Firstly, if I remember right, they said there will be bosses, but Now it seems there will be no boss creatures. And they also show the possibilities of repairing and building. This time around there will be many kind of things that you can build up from the ruins, or you can destroy, for many kind of possibilities and super things. And also you can build now mage guards again. So there are many good things that we can know from this new demonstration. So that's what I must to talk about this before the whole presentation of this demo. And I must change to Hungarian for the Hungarian fans for a little 1-2 minute. After that you can see the presentation of Gamescom August demo, but in a abridged version, if I can say so, and it's a more version of going deeper in the informations on this demo, on this map, on the town, and also on the battle map. So have a good fun about it, and I must change my language to Hungarian. Have a good fun and have a good many information portions for you in this demonstration. Bye. Szóval a magyar fanoknak is egy rövid bemutatkozott, egy rövid felvezetést tartanék. Ezúttal a Heroes 7-ből egy olyan demo részlet, egy demonstrációt mutatót láthatok, ami már jelen volt a Gamescom-on 2014. augusztusában, de ezúttal egy sokkal frissebb változatot mutatnak be, még ez is pre-alpha, de most már egy sokkal részletesebb bemutatót kaphatunk. És szintén a grafikát is még jobban felpolírozták, felfejlesztették, eddig sem volt gyenge, de most még erősebb lett. És nagyon sok információt adtatok meg a HUN és az akadémiai lényekről, nagyon sok akadémiai lényről, például teljesen újat, illetve sok lényt most láthatok 3D-ben először tőlük. Ezen kívül láthatjátok a HUN várost, megismertétek a kalandtérkép apró elemeit, megismertétek az új nyersanyagokat, megismertétek a bányákat és pár épületet, lénynövelő például, vagy erőd. A kalandtérképről majdnem angolul akartam elmondani nektek is, és meg fogjátok ismerni az egy jó pár új lehetőségét a Heroes 7-nek, például a hidak újraépítése, erődök újraépítése, természetesen minden nyersanyagért, illetve ezeket le is lehet rombolni, ha például az ellenség elől szeretnénk elzárni egy utat, vagy az erődnek a használatát. Az erődrendszer, illetve a területkontrollrendszerről is meg tudunk új információkat. Itt egy kicsit máshogy működik már ez, mint a 6-ban, megmaradt, de viszont kicsit elég jó taktikailag jól módosították ezt. Véleményem szerint a lényeg az, hogy azúttal, ha elfoglaltok egy erőt, azonnal le is rombolódik, tehát leromboljátok, és az ellenségnek föl kell építenie újra, és el kell foglalni, hogy újra az övé lehessen. Amíg ez nincsen, addig elfoglalhatjátok a többi bányát egyenként, és a sajátoké lesz, de viszont az erődöt el kell foglalni az ellenfélnek, és föl kell építeni előtte ahhoz, hogy utána az övé lehessen. Ezen kívül megtudunk információkat a varázslatokról, a varázslatkönyvről, illetve az, hogy újra mage guardokat építhetünk, megtudunk információkat a skill rendszerről, amely hasonló lesz elvileg, mint a 6-ban. Skill pontokat fogunk magunk elosztani, viszont ezúttal a mage guard oldala az már egy randomabb változat lesz, egy véletlenszerű változat. A spelleket, a varázslatokat véletlenszerűen kapjátok a mage guardban, és a kalandtérképen is ilyen mágikus könyvtárakban véletlenszerűen kapjátok, viszont, meg artefaktóból is kaphatjátok, viszont azért lesznek itt is fókusz mágia ágak, fókusz mágia családok népenként természetesen, tehát a Heaven az például inkább fénymágiát fog használni, gondolom, hogy a sötétséget ugye nem is használhat, pontosan ezt mondják is, hogy nem használhat, viszont a sötétséget a Necro fog legjobban használni, és valószínűleg valamennyire a Dungeon is. Az elfek azok gondolom természetes mágiát fognak leginkább használni, vagy földmágiát és víz és levegőmágiát, illetve a Stronghold leginkább földmágiát. Kik vannak még ugye, az akadémi, az, hát azt mondom, nem tudom, azt talán nem tudom milyen mágiák vannak, még ősi mágiát talán, azt hiszem, hogy lesz még, és ilyesmi, tehát a logikai alapján. Megtudtok pár információt például, hogy milyen lények lesznek a dungeon és az Inferno lény vonulatokon belül, tehát egy-egy fő lényt tudni fogtok most ebből a videóból, ami még szerintem nagy meglepetés, amelyek biztos valószínűleg benne lesznek mindegyik 3 fajta lénysorba, amelyekből majd választhattok. Megint viszont ezúttal majd úgy oldják ezt meg, hogy először szavaztatnak, és a 2 legtöbb szavazatot kapó egy újabb fordulóban fog megvívni egymással. Hát nagyon sok minden kiderül ebből a videóból, nem akarok már többet mondani róla, nézzétek meg, egész érdekes dolgok tűnnek elő. Úgyhogy csak ajánlani tudom, hogy tekintsétek meg és beszéljetek róla, hogy nektek tetszik-e ez a nagy mix, amit egyébként ebben a 7. részben tettek. Nagyon sok elemet vettek át például még a 4. részből is, például a karavanrendszer, illetve a governor, azaz a kormányzó szerepköre is visszatér, és ez csak a 4. rész. A 3-ból inkább a hangulatát és ugye a főbb elemeket és a kevesebb lény skillt vették át szerintem, illetve úgy tűnik valószínűleg marad a 6 és a 3 lépési rendszer, nem az 5-ös initiatív rendszer kezdeményezés jön elő, és nagyon sok elemet átvettek a 6-ból is polírozva, ugye, például ugye az említett területkontrollrendszer, de ott van az is, amit kivágtak a 6-ból, vagy a 7-ből, ami 6-ban benne volt még, az például a városok átalakítása, az itt nem lesz jelen, illetve még volt még valami, igen, a lényeknek a bárhol felvehetősége, felvásárlása, felbérlése, attól függ, hogyan akarjátok értelmezni, megvásárlása. Most már nem lehet ezt majd, hanem azt hiszem csak az erőd, illetve a legközelebbi erőd, illetve a fővárba lehet majd előttem megvenni. De azt hallgassátok végig ezt a jó, majd másfél órás videót, és utána vitatkozzatok akár róla. Még nagyon sok minden nem 100%-os, nagyon sok kezelőfelület nem 100%-os, nagyon sok elem változhat, még akár a lények neve a heaven kívül mind változhat. Nagyon sok híró, azaz hős visszatér egyébként a régi részekből, ugyanaz a személy és névvel, és nagyon sok női hős is lesz egyébként, illetve még valaki kérdezősködne ez iránt is. Ennyit akartam mondani, jó szórakozást kívánok! Ez a majd másfél órás élő, legalábbis annó élő demóhoz. Sziasztok! The world has ever seen. United in purpose, we shall end this war.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
So welcome to this Twitch demo of Might and Magic Heroes 7. So
I am Xavier and I am a lead game designer on Heroes 7.
and I am Julien and I am one of the designers and writers working on this game.
Okay.
So what are we going to see?
Well, we are going to play the first demo of the game, which is quite old already, but still interesting to show you the game and the intentions and what we're still working on.
So this is the demo that was first introduced at Gamescom, then a bit improved and shown at Igromir a few weeks ago.
Yes.
So if you are already following everything about the game, probably the demo itself won't be very new, but don't hesitate to ask questions because I think we are the main attraction here. So okay, let's roll.
Okay. So let's start. Well, so this is the introduction of the map. As you can see, we can go. I have quite nice shots of the adventure map, even though it's meant to be seen from afar.
Yeah. And this is mainly what we see here is an Avon territory, so medieval European setting.
Yes.
And
So you saw there was this small presentation of the story of the map, let's say, with these titans led by this magic hero from the Wizard Academy, who's coming to attack the territory of our hero, which in this map is called Ivan, like the main character of Heroes 7, even though it's not really Ivan.
yeah, this map is a demo map, so it's not really connected with the actual story of the game. So yeah, don't try to read too much into the story of this map.
Yes. As you can see on the model also, it's a priest, it's not a knight like Ivan, so don't pay too much attention to that. So basically our hero arrived on boat and disembarked, and he's close to his town. So as you can see, or maybe you noticed, there was the first quest basically is to repel the attack from the academy wizard. And for that we need to destroy those titans. So I think there's something important to say here, that this is a script just to make this map look good, but this is not a gameplay feature that you will see in the game. This looks like a stack of mud on the map, but they generally won't move and destroy specific.
Except if the story needs it.
Exactly.
Another thing, especially if you played Heroes VI, you will notice that the view in Heroes 7 is a bit higher, the camera is set a bit higher. We wanted to go back to this feeling of looking at the whole region compared to Heroes 6, where the camera was closer to the action. So it's more kind of symbolic scale here, and that's why, for instance, the hero is quite big compared to some of the buildings. Yeah, it's more in the spirit of the older games of the series.
Okay, so as it's Heroes, before you going to move your hero and counter-attack, you might want to take a look at your town. Well, in this map you start with a fully evolved town. So this is work in progress, but and we won't be able to show you the internal GUIs and the other sections of the town, but you can have an idea of how the town screen looks like. So in this case, the Haven town, classical medieval fantasy style, and you have all the classic symbols of this faction in Ashan. So this is the Tiara of Asha building. It's the biggest thing you can have.
So now, currently it lacks some effects. It looks like a big statue. Normally it's supposed to be like a gigantic vision of Elraf, the dragon god of light. So yeah, just to say that this is work in progress and not fully implemented. But yeah, it's a first glimpse of what the town screen will look like.
So I see there's a question from Maximus Zion, who's asking to show the town building screen. Alas, we don't have this in this build, and we cannot show you how it's going to look like. But if you take a look at the Shadow Council, you can see that there's an article regarding the town development.
So if you didn't know, the Shadow Council is a development blog of Heroes 7.
And we regularly put articles about the game and the design and the story. So you can find more information about the town development. Yes, so we can show you that here. So this was just a little look at the town screen. Well, you can see it's quite typical with all the sub-pages of the town, and here the space to have your army and visiting army and local army and the hero. Something we can talk about quickly is the governor feature, which is something that we kind of adapted from Heroes 4. So basically you can assign a hero to be the governor of the town, and he will bring certain bonuses which can be linked to his own abilities. So you could decide to specialize your hero to be a especially good governor, so he adds a lot of bonuses to a town. And obviously you can have only one hero assigned to one town at a time.
And I see that Seria Pael, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, is asking us why the town screen is not in 3D. And actually it's a very simple question, because the 3D town screens we had in Heroes 5, yes, they looked amazing, but they were like super expensive to make. Because you have to model every single building, and in the end, players don't spend that much time. I mean, they look at the town screen in 3D once, but after a while you just want to see all your buildings rapidly, and so for many reasons, but mostly for budget and usability reason, we prefer to go back to 2D town screens.
Yes. Okay. Shall we go back to the adventure map? Okay, so let's start the adventure here. So as usual, you have the portrait of your hero shows the remaining movement points and mana. So let's go back to attack, and here starts a new quest. So yes, the wizard has attacked you, and we have defense system. So again, this is scripted. You cannot build catapults on map that shoot on incoming enemies, but this is a nice sequence with a lot of effects and destruction. And this is more interesting in terms of gameplay. We can have this kind of event where, in this case, the arcane bird, which is a new creature for Academy, are attacking the catapults. So, which at this point looks like only scripted story becomes gameplay, because now I'm going to attack these invaders who are blocking my defenses, and we are going to enter a special combat map that we have made especially for this story, and that has a specific layout to represent this story beat. So basically, the big catapult is in the middle of the battle map, and it's a big obstacle, and you have to manage the space to defeat your opponents. So again, as you can see, the battle maps can have a bit of mise en scène. So in this case, you have a nice camera to show you what's happening. The main opponent, who's a champion unit, it's quite tough, and you might not know that at this point. Let's say the battle map is still very unbalanced in this demo, but let's go back to the layout. So this is something very important for me in Heroes VII. We wanted the battle maps to be potentially very different from one to another. So you have classical ones, and this is a very special one. The space is very crowded, and you really have to play with the obstacles to take down your opponents. Okay, let's start with a little spell. Julien, what do you think?
You know, I'm kind of simple kind of guy, so I like a good old fireball. But since we are playing Haven, maybe a light spell would be nice. The sunbeam, for instance.
Okay, so the sunbeam, actually, yes.
As a redhead, I know how sunbeams can be dangerous.
Okay, so let's attack the arcane bird, which is the most pressing threat here. So as Ivan is set up to be very powerful.
Username or ask us to zoom a bit.
Yeah, okay, you want to see that again from close.
Let's see a bit this.
Okay, yeah. Yes, so these are new Haven creatures. This is a classic crossbowman, but he's in the style of the Wolf Duchy, like most of the Haven lineup. The Direwolf is kind of a classic, but this is an adapted version, so it's quite like the Griffin in the Griffin Duchy. It has the same function in battle, and you can see this. This unit has the old name, but it's I think the Guardian unit, it's the non-upgraded version, which is a light infantry with very good retaliation abilities. And this is our big badass, the Swordmaster, who is a champion unit and kind of superhuman, super powerful knight.
Yeah. He's inspired by the top unit of Heroes 2, and actually Heroes 1, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it was a Paladin back in the day. Paladin is more hero class nowadays.
Yes.
That was the inspiration in the case.
So anyway, let's use this.
Oh, and by the way, it's worth saying that this is a pre-alpha version of the game. It's very, very, very work in progress. So yeah, there are lots of glitches, little bugs, little things, little weirdness,
yeah.
like this staff that goes through the head of the horse earlier. So yeah, you will notice some weird stuff, but that we are not even alpha yet. And of course, the UI means the general style of the UI is the one we are going to have in the game. But there are many things that are still placeholders, wrong icons, menus that are just for functionality and not design and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yes.
because I see there are quite a bit of questions about UI.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of things to say about UI.
I see someone, and Angrim the Viking is asking us if we'll have less factions in this game. Actually, we'll have more. We'll have 6 factions in Hero 7. So, yeah.
Yes, and maybe you don't know, but we are putting 2 of these factions to the vote. One has already been voted by the community on the Shadow Council blog.
So actually, the factions that we know so far are in Hero 7 are Haven, Academy, so that's the 2 factions you see in this demo. Necropolis, Stronghold, and first faction voted by the fans is Sylvan, so the Sylvan Elves. And there's another vote currently on the Shadow Council website where you can choose between the Dungeon factions or the Inferno faction.
2 weeks still, I think.
So go there, vote, tell us what you want in the game.
Yeah, and I think today Dungeon is still winning with like 5%. So if you're a fan of the demons, you should really go to vote quickly because time is running. I've been asked what was my preferred choice in this vote, and frankly, for me it's a bit difficult. I don't know what you think, Julien.
Well, I was in the first vote. I wanted the dwarves to win, but the elves win. Then I wanted because we had the lineups for vote as well.
Right.
I wanted the strength of the forest to win because unicorns. I love unicorns, I have to say. But no, the fury won. Okay. So yeah, I really shouldn't. I think I'm jinxing some parties.
You don't want to say. Okay. Well, I think I'd like to see the demons again, but
I see Rosen Smart is asking us if there will be a dynasty online feature like in Hero 6. So maybe that's something you want to answer, Xavier?
We won't have the same system as in Hero 6 for a simple reason. We had feedbacks from the community about the fact that this was linked to being connected and always connected, and that if you were not, you wouldn't have the benefit of dynasty weapons and bonuses. So we don't want to have that again. We like the idea that you can collect stuff like playing, and the thing is you won't have the exact same system. But I think it's a bit too early to speak about what we have planned for online benefits, let's say. But
yeah. In any case, one thing is sure that when you install the game, you have to connect once to how do you say that, to register again,
yes,
and then you can play offline all you want, and there are no gameplay features that are removed from the offline experience. So
yes, absolutely. Okay, do we have any other questions that we can answer right away?
Heroes 5 introduced lots of female heroes to the game. Will you be doing the same? Actually, I think in Heroes, and most heroes actually, equality is a true thing, so there will be roughly as much female heroes as there are male heroes. And even in the campaigns, it's balanced.
Yeah, absolutely. You can count on quite as much male and female heroes. Okay, so let's talk about the adventure map because I think some of you are interested. So, okay, this was just decoration, this area, but as usual we have. This is stables, so it's a classic. It's the same as in Hero 6 basically. When you visit it, you get more movement points until the end of the week. Well, let's collect this pile of wood. Okay, in this map I won't need the resources much, but it's interesting to show you how it works. Let's go to the stables to get the bonus. It's interesting to know that in the final game, I cannot show you that now, but you will be able to check all the adventure map bonus you have currently working. So you will be able to know if you are in a good position for an attack because you have a recent bonus that you received. Let's get up there. There is a dwelling, so it's a haven dwelling. Right now the values are not balanced. There's maybe a lot of creatures, so it's the core creature dwelling. that provides sentinels and crossbowmen and wolves. So I won't enter it now because the GUI is a bit broken in this version, but I could collect creatures directly here, buy them, and since they are part of the area of control of my town, I could also recruit them from my town.
But yeah, so some people who played Euro 6 maybe here area of control and things control the same way. Actually, it doesn't work exactly.
We have revised the system for many reasons. There are two big things that have changed. I think it's the first thing is that you can recruit creatures from the same area of control, but the creatures will move through caravans and not being teleported directly. And you won't be able to do that to recruit the creatures from a town to any town without the cost. There will always be a delay, and caravans that can be attacked, that can be stopped, and it takes time to get reinforcements.
So it's basically back to the Heroes 5 system with some elements of the Euro 6 system.
Yes, we really believe that this is a very important strategy thing, that you have to take into account the distance and the delay of reinforcements and not having them directly. And regarding the other important thing about areas of control, the towns generate an area of control, but also the forts. We have the forts quite like in Hero 6, but in this game, when you attack a fort, it ends up being destroyed, and the area of control is destroyed also. So the mines and everything that is flagged in this area become free again, and they can be flagged by a single owner. And if you want to retake the area of control, you have to rebuild the fort, which has a cost. So we believe that it gives more importance strategically to the forts, and that you have more incentive to defend them once you have rebuilt them, because they cost you something.
So I saw there was a question. Maybe we can see the questions again, please. No, we don't. No.
Can we see the questions?
Okay, thank you. So it's Acid Dragon, by the way, who is asking if the voted off factions will return or not in future expansions. Well, time will tell. I mean, right now we are focusing on finishing Heroes 7, so it's a bit early to talk about expansion plans and stuff like that. As usual, I like to say, we hope that ultimately we'll be able to have all 9 factions of HUN in Heroes 7, but first the game needs to be completed. And it will be good, that's a promise. But yeah, the sales and stuff like that will.
Yes, right now it's difficult to answer that question. We'll hope that it'll happen. Well, Hanneke asked us to explain the buildings on the adventure map, so I think we should take some time to have a look at them. So this was a dwelling. This is a new mine, meteor crater, so that contains star silver. So we can talk a bit about the resources in Heroes 7. We are back to 7 resources, but the 3 new ones are new compared to Heroes 6. So we still have the Dragon Blood Crystal, and in addition, in Heroes 7, we have the Dragon Steel. So Dragon Steel is a metal which is a mix of Dragon Blood Crystal and steel, and it's forged by very specialized guys. You will discover that in the story.
Yeah, so the resources icons are not the final ones.
Yes.
Another thing that is placeholder, so don't freak out because they are.
Yeah, this is obviously a copy of the gold icon, which I made myself, by the way.
We are, multi-talented.
Yeah.
In this team.
So yeah, this is Shadow Steel. So in the world of HUN, it's already existing, but there is a resource. So it's a magical metal that is mostly forged by elves and dwarves, that is found in the underground of HUN. And this is star silver, so it's very different. It comes from meteors that crashed on HUN, sorry. And this is an example of the mine. So this is a meteor crater, and at the center of it is the resource.
I see a very lore-based question. So just because I like this kind of
Oh,
questions.
sure, let's go.
So can you tell more? And actually, it's actually personally directed to me. So Castor Arcanet, hello. Can you tell more about demons' origin? Do they have a common ancestors with the Kriegans? Well, no, because as you may know, Ubisoft has started its own universe for the Might and Magic series back in Heroes VII. So in this world Ashan, the demons are creatures of chaos created by Urgash, who is a dragon god of chaos. So they are not spacefaring like aliens like in the old games, but they are many little winks and nods to the old games. So there will be some familiar heroes and stuff like that in each factions. But yeah, it's not the same world, but we're trying to keep as much as possible little links and references to the neural computing games, because we love them as well.
Alright, sorry for the Kriegans. So this is an ore pit, by the way, so it's a classic resource. I think we have a gold mine here. Wow, it's really shining and full of gold. So classic again. A bit farther we have
Snow falling from the sky.
Absolutely, so that's the mountain area.
So that's the kind of thing that the Unreal 3 engine that we are using for Heroes 7 allows us to do, have a bit more life on the adventure map by having some weather effects and stuff like that in some areas. So it's not, it's not systemic, and it doesn't have an actual impact on the gameplay, except when scripted. This is something we will see a bit later.
Oh well, we can say that the mountain, snowy terrain is slower than those,
but the fact that the snow falls,
yes, the weather itself
is not. But actually, you can see the snow covering the buildings and stuff like that in the area where it's falling. So at least it's visually pretty nice.
So I'm ending quickly with the resource. So this is a crystal cavern that provides dragon blood crystal, and here is an underground pit that allows you to collect shadow steel, but it's not so visible.
So again, it's a demo that was done for Gamescom when we announced the game. So yeah, it's a very scripted, linear kind of map. It doesn't show every subtlety of heroes.
Okay, so
that's your question from Matty1000. Are the Necropolis and Stronghold faction finished? Well, we are working on everything, so...
okay, yes, we are working on these, and you will have information soon, I guess.
Yeah, soon, with a little trademark in the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just found a chest, so classical situation, you have choose between XP and gold. That's a classic one. So I'm moving to show you something new. So this is something new in Heroes 7. It's a destructible and rebuildable bridge. So right now I will interact with the flag, which is not the final thing. And the values here are also not final. The idea in Heroes 7 is that you can create choke points by destroying infrastructure. So the bridge is one good example. The thing is, it doesn't take so much time to destroy and repair, but it costs resources. So you can isolate yourself or protect yourself from invasion. But again, if you want to go out of the same place, you will have to pay for the cost of repairing the bridge. And your opponent, if you want to go the same way, has to spend the money too. So it's a double-edged strategy, but we believe it's very interesting for what we call map control. And this is my opponent. Oh, but the coward is fleeing.
Avalanche.
So that's a new scripted thing that you can find in the Heroes 7 map to create an interesting situation. So this is now impassable. and my opponent has taken refuge in the fort. So that's the occasion to.
Yeah. And that will be an occasion to actually answer a well-placed question. Can we see flanking? So I think in this map we'll see a bit of flanking.
Yeah, I'll talk about it.
Hopefully. Yeah. And again, if you want to learn more about the game and follow the development, don't hesitate to go to the Shadow Council website. So it's mmh7.com, and we'll talk a bit more about gameplay and stuff as we are doing it until the release of the game next year.
Yes, you'll receive regular updates on the content of the game and gameplay, and you can ask questions. And trust us, we are reading your reactions, and we take them into account as much as we can. So this is another map, and as I said already, this is a good example of a crowded map with a kind of labyrinth-like structure. So you will have to manage carefully your movements because you can be trapped, and this is the kind of place where flyers and teleporters have an interesting advantage. So that's not.
There are guys on magic carpets. I love that.
Exactly. So
reminds me of the jeans of Might and Magic Heroes VII.
These are academy apprentices. Okay, so about flanking. So the system is quite simple. If you attack an opponent from the side or from the back, you will get additional damage. We had first iteration of that system that included no retaliation rule if you attack from the back, but we revised that, and right now it's probably going to go and only be additional damage because it was probably overpowered. To be honest, we're not afraid to try some extreme ideas because we know we have the tools to change that without too much time.
Yeah, that was actually one of the big advantages of going with Unreal Engine 3 this time instead of custom engine like we had on Heroes 6, because we don't have to focus too much on the technology. The tools are there, the engine is there, and I think has nothing to prove anymore.
Yes.
So we can actually focus on iterating and trying things and seeing if things work. So it's a huge relief as far as making this game is.
And if you're interested in game development itself, it's interesting to say that we have set up objectives for the developer a little bit to have tools that allow us to be very flexible and to allow us a quick and easy balancing, so we can really try things and change them without too much cost. And we know this is a game that is very difficult to balance. There are tons of units, spells, abilities, and we need to be able to try things and say, okay, it doesn't work, so change it. And I'm happy to say that we have that possibilities with the tools we have. Okay, so this guy is in a corner, so not really easy to flank right now.
I see a question from Dave James from Heroes community. Are apprentices core or elites?
Well, I know that. They are elite. Yeah, they are quite strong. I think this is the basic unit, so it doesn't have the right ability. So the thing with these guys is they have two ways of attacking. One is a piercing shot, so you can damage units that are hiding behind each other with one shot. And the upgrade guy can also use what we call the Nova attack, which is an area damage. So you can switch depending on the situation. And they are, since it's a ranged and powerful attack, it's quite practical. But then not the toughest guys, to be fair.
Actually, question for a minute. Raphael again, can we see any neutral features? I'm not in this demo, and actually we're still working on the final list of neutral. So yeah, again, follow the Shadow Council on mmh7.com, and I'm pretty sure when we are ready to talk about this topic, we'll make an article about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Maximus the Zion is asking, is there fog of war? Yes.
Yes, there is. So like maybe removed it on this demo, right?
Yeah, but maybe he's asking, is this like a Heroes 5 kind of God of War, or the Heroes 4, you know, that was a bit more like an RTS. There was a black God of War, and the ones that was coming back when you were not in an area and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's classical, I would say.
It's like
God of War for Heroes.
Heroes 5, Heroes 6, Heroes 3 kind of God of War.
Yeah, so actually for this demo we have highlighted all the game area, but it will look kind of like that. So if you haven't visited this area, oh, by the way, you can see there is something here, I don't know why. It's probably a bug, but...
some wizard is going to you.
Yeah,
likes mountain trekking.
Shadow magic. Okay, anyway, so interesting point also here. I've destroyed my enemy's fort, so as I explained, now if you attack a fort, which is an advanced post, you will destroy it automatically. So now nobody can enjoy the area of control of this fort. But I can rebuild it. So again, the price and values are not final. And hey, it comes back. So something interesting to notice, if I was from another faction, the fort would be in my faction style now that I have rebuilt it.
Yeah, question from Becom, I don't know how you pronounce it. Any plans for map editor? Will it be good? Well, map editor is obviously a very important thing for Heroes, and we spent a lot of time before even going to production to work on the tools. So yeah, there will definitely be a map editor, and will it be good? Certainly hope so.
Yes.
And
I think it's no secret, we can say it, the game is made with the game editor or the map editor, so this has been made with the map editor. So we are really using it in production, so you can be assured that it will be the same tools the developers are using. Okay, let's continue the adventure. So have you seen this? The path has been blocked by an avalanche here. So this way is blocked by a lake, and you can recognize this is an underground entrance. So unlike all Heroes games, you have underground. In this case, it's a small and dark place with a twist in our small story.
Yeah. So it's since Heroes 3 there are you know, underground levels on some maps. It's not in every map, but there can be one, so it adds a sort of layer. And the snow is somehow
there is snow in there. Incredible.
And yeah, and usually sometimes you can find towns and whole empires underground. Sometimes it's just nice sort of quest areas with treasure and stuff. Here, for instance, this mysterious angel statue, very out of place here.
Okay, I'm not sure it's so nice to destroy an angel statue. But oh,
it's flushing. It's a lake.
Yeah, something happened here. We destroyed the wall or something, and now all the water is coming down from the lake up there. Wow. Okay.
Arial 1070 is asking us about bosses. Will there be bosses in the game?
Well, we don't really plan to have bosses like in Hero 6, for instance. We thought it wasn't exactly fitting for the kind of game we have, where one creature would need to have the equivalent of armies of health points, and that could work for a semi-god maybe, but we prefer to have custom battles with specific maps and events taking place in battles rather than bosses creature.
Yeah. Dwarf Furious is
hey, hello Dwarf Furious.
Accusing us of somehow rigging the vote. Well, I wanted the dwarves to win, so yeah.
Oh, really? No.
Don't say it's our fault, man.
I think we have a big question for a random skill system. So right now we are set up on no random skill. We are chosen to give control to the player. But I know there are a lot of debates about that, and some people really want to randomness in the game. So let's say we are still discussing if having a classic Heroes mode with random skills could be possible, but that would be probably only optional, and it's not guaranteed yet. so you can ask for it again, maybe you get it.
Razman is asking us which Heroes of Might and Magic inspired you the most. Well, it's a bit of every Heroes actually in this game. On some things like the scale and the general feeling, we went back to the Heroes 2, Heroes 3 kind of really feeling where you have the whole region at your feet basically. But there are a bit of everything.
Yeah, I think we cannot hide the fact that Heroes 3 is often heard to be the preferred of everyone, so we cannot really disregard that. I think we took some time to look back to the past, just like Ivan does in the game, to see what was best and popular and still made sense for this game. So I think there are some things back from Heroes 3, also from Heroes 5. Personally, I think there are some quite good things to take from Heroes 5. And as far as I'm concerned, these are my references from the series.
See, there have been a few questions, including one from the DF2 about modding kits. Well, it's a bit early to say exactly what would be possible, but we really want the tools to be powerful in Heroes 7. And again, the fact that, I mean, if you have followed some Unreal Engine free games, you know that there are big possibilities.
I think I triggered something.
Yeah. So we are not lift the clouds about modding capabilities right now, but we are at least lifting the clouds on this Academy city.
Okay, so this is a big sequence. Our opponent is casting a very powerful spell to protect his town and stop us from invading. So that's something. By the way, this is the Academy town, so it's floating in the air. And now you've seen another set from this game. This was the mountain, and this is basically the desert of the Academy world. Classic, let's say Middle Eastern. Well, this is Scorpion.
It's not a neutral creature, it's just decoration.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea.
Okay. So I go on playing a bit. Obviously I need a new spell to destroy this. I think it's safe to say that this is not gameplay again, it's a script, so this situation won't be happening all the time in the game. And this is an Arcane library, so it's a adventure map building where you can find new spells. In this case, the Spain we need to break the shield around the town, but in the final game you will be able to find different levels of Arcane libraries with different spells of all levels, and this will be part of what we call the spell hunt. So that's an interesting topic I like to talk about, because this is something that was brought back from the past games. So if you played Heroes 6, you know that the spells were part of the abilities you can acquire as a hero, and that you don't have a spell book per se, and you don't learn spells, you just acquire them through the skill system. And we thought it was a bit too bad to lose the fantasy of the spell hunt that existed in previous games, which means basically that you have a book you want to fill, and along your adventures you will find those spells in adventure maps, in mage guilds, in towns, and you really expect to find them all at some point. So this will be happening again in Heroes 7, and it's the occasion to talk about the mage guild, because this also has been the topic of an article on the Shadow Council that you can check.
So again, mmh7.com.
Yes.
If you are, coming right now,
Yeah.
you know where to go now.
You'll find all the information there. I will be a bit shorter than the article, but basically in your towns, for every faction, you can develop a magic guild, which is classic building that contains a certain number of spells, and visiting heroes will acquire those spells if they have the required skill in that the relevant magic school. And so you can upgrade your town, upgrade your magic guilds so they have more spells and more powerful spells. And also we have additional systems. Something that existed in Heroes V, the academy towns have an additional building, so their magic guilds have even more spells. And something that comes from the world of HUN, a town can have, I always have at least one spell from their preferred school of magic. For instance, in the Haven town, you will always have, for each level of the mage guild, one light spell, because it's their favorite magic. And you will not find spells from the school of darkness, because they hate that. So this will be a general rule for almost all the towns. And we are thinking about specialization that you could choose yourself for your mage guild, so you will get you will have more chances to get the spells you are interested in. I think that is something that the designers of HUN-ENG came with after reading reactions from the fans, thinking that this restriction of the magic schools could be too random and counter their intentions regarding spell acquisition. So that would be a tool that you could use to get more what you want.
Okay. How many levels in mage guilds?
Well, right now it's 4. It's again it's classical. So for the magic system, basically you have 11 wild spells that you can acquire. Anybody can acquire, and for level 2 you need to have the first skill, and the mage guilds that gives you those spells is level 2, and you have up to spells level 5 that you can find in mage guilds level 4.
Okay.
So, do you have any other pending question, or are we doing this?
I think the time has come to break this.
Yeah, this
sort
guy
of
has
shiny
sent his
magic
titans
egg.
to attack us, and I really want to kick his ass. Sorry. So yeah, that was my spell book. So we have the adventure map spells that are on the special section. Right now, this is just for this map, and
So Honey Blossom is asking us, will this game be more stable than the last one? We certainly hope so, and that's also a reason why we decided to go with a tried and tested engine, so Unreal, because we don't want to have the stability problem some people have experienced in Heroes 6.
yes, at least we can always blame Unreal. No, to be honest, we are in full production, and the build is really stable. We don't have crash problems. There are bugs, obviously, because we're working on the game, but it's already proving to be very solid. It's a pleasure to work with that kind of tool, really. Okay, so now we've destroyed the shield of the Academy Town. Let's attack. And, ooh, I see some new stuff here. So as you can see, we're going to fight female heroes. So for the guy who's asking, are there going to be any? Yes, there are.
Yeah. But it's actually not one of the actual final hero portraits for the game.
Yes.
It's an NPC from Might and Magic 10 Legacy, which was an awesome game, by the way. I hope you all bought it.
Yeah, I have the t-shirt.
But yeah, but there are definitely female heroes, but these portraits are not the final one.
Yeah. So this is another siege battle, but it's a bigger one from town. By the way, you can see that with our new tools, we can have quite nice decoration around the battle map. So we can have animations and things happening to give more context to the battle. So here is the Academy Town. As you can see, it's big, nice entry, and they have these magical walls here. I can see flashes in this mode. It's probably a magical trick. So again, this is a battle, but now we have catapults to attack the walls. It's a classic system.
Seraphael would like to see the academic creatures
From closer?
from closer. I think attacking in close combat, so maybe it's
Okay.
talking about melee combat. I'm not completely sure.
Okay, just to have a look, I'll remind you that this is alpha quality. So this Colossus, no, not a Titan, not the upgrade one. This is the Kabir, he's a new guy from Academy.
It's basically old fans will say, yeah, it's like the Gremlin. Yeah, indeed, it's a new Gremlin.
Yes,
Basically.
from a Shan, it's a fire spirit. And what's nice with these guys, they are kind of made of fire, and they have the power to repair the constructs, or the golems and the titans with their own hands. So they are the mechanics of the academy. This is a Jinn, so it's a classic unit, very magical. You have seen already Apprentice, and that's one of our heroes. And let's go back to here. So, okay, again, we can start with spells. So here are a few spells, and we didn't took a careful look at that. Some of them are, I think, not completely final. We have classic like Firebolt. The light spells that Ivan is a Knight of Haven. So healing is a classic also. Cleansing Light is a classic spell to remove debuffs from your allies and remove the bad stuff the opponents can use. Divine Strength is a buff that boosts your attack to do more damage. Sunbeam is a direct attack spell, which is especially efficient against all the guys who don't like School of Light. The Ice Bolt is also a classic, so it does damage and freezing. This is a new one, I don't think that's the final name, but basically it's a buff you can cast on your creatures and they become electrical and they do damage to all of those who attack them on melee. The Lightning Bolt is also a classic, nothing to explain I suppose, and Storm Skin also is a buff that gives you more defense. We can try that.
There's a question from Dentas, Detnas actually. Ubisoft, and now I can't see the question anymore. So it was something about, you know, being able to speeding up the animation and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
And,
sure.
yeah, there will be tons of options, you know, when you can deactivate the cool cams, speed up things and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
Right now, as we're talking and taking our time, we don't do that, but personally I like to speed up everything when I play. Right now it doesn't work so well, the animations are not yet set up to be working well with more speed, but that's already possible. Yeah, something we didn't talk about, I got my first stack of unit destroyed and we got a moral debuff, everyone. I think there has been questions from the community about the use of moral in the game. I think in Heroes 6 maybe some of you felt that you didn't much have bad moral and losing turns because of bad moral, and it maybe wasn't a great tool to use as a player. In Heroes 7 you will have much more variation of moral, which means spells that debuff enemies and lower than moral would be very useful, and also the spells and abilities that allow you to have high moral. So this was just an example, but as soon as you lose a stack, your moral is going down, so you better have ways to keep it high, otherwise you can be in trouble.
So I saw an interesting question and an easy one. It's Benabel one who was asking, do units have upgrade versions? Yes.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
was this simple.
I don't think in this map we have any upgraded creature, but they all have an upgraded version with additional abilities and stats. The hero attack right now is not so well balanced, I think. Ouch! Hey! Okay, that's a powerful wizard.
Oh, this is a wizard. Is that anything with magic? You know? That's to be expected.
Yeah, sure. I have to use my spell because I think I don't have much strength here. I have these soul bearers who are champion, but he has 5 colors, so this is pretty strong. It would be too bad to lose this battle just because I'm talking while playing. Okay, that was weak. Okay, you know what? Let's see a little fireball here. Although these guys are, the Kabira is supposed completely immune to fire. It's not a good idea to shoot them, but I think I can target those two. That would be nice. I was laughing. Hey, that was a good move. So again, I would like to show you some flanking, but the situation here is not very prone to flanking. Maybe if my walls can go through the modes alive, I think it might be possible. I'd be able to show some flanking.
So Donatas is asking us if we will do more demos on Twitch in the future, and actually I don't see why not, when we have some new stuff to show.
Well,
I would be happy.
If you're interested, why not? We're happy to be there, I can say that. Okay, let's try to save some time here. Okay, you didn't see that, but the catapult is firing right now. There's no camera focus on it, but I already destroyed 3 parts of the wall. Right now it's not really balanced. It's made to be working very fast for this demo, but it seems very powerful already. The Kabir might not like this ice ball since it's a fire creature. There they go. Okay, so maybe we stand a chance. So now I should be able to attack from the side. Okay, so you can see here in this formation I can do half flanking, which is going to give me some more damage. I don't want to discuss the values right now because I think it's highly debatable and prone to changing. Okay, so that was decent damage, but the process is really strong. So now I can try to go behind. I don't have enough movement to attack from behind. So I'll just get the... Okay, and so the Guardian has the cleave ability, so if it does some damage from the first strike, it can attack again. And hopefully... Oh, come on.
This is a question for you.
Yep. I'm not sure what that means. My colleagues are suggesting some stuff, but I'm not sure what they want to do.
I think some people are asking actually if we can, give a hint of what the lineups for Inferno or Dungeon are going to be.
So some of you are not decided between Dungeon and Inferno, and you want to have information on the lineups to decide. So that's very top secret. So
yeah, but I think there will be a vote for the lineup, like.
Yes, like for the previous faction, Sylvan, once we have a vote for one of the 2 factions, we will give you 3 lineups, but unlike the last time, we don't want the majority to feel that they are losing, so we'll proceed differently. We will give you 3 lineups, and you will start by voting 1 out, and 2 remaining will be voted again. So hopefully the majority will be satisfied, and well, probably we can give you an example of one of the creatures from the factions. Yes, well, it's very classic, but obviously I think you're gonna have Inferno without the Succubus, so the Succubus will be in if you vote Inferno, for sure. And what is 100% certain for Dungeon? I think the Minotaur will be there. Obviously, if you go Dungeon, we will get the Minotaur. And I think that's it for now. Otherwise, I'm gonna have problems with security.
But yeah, if you played Heroes 5, Heroes 6, I think you can have a pretty good idea of what to expect in these factions. But there will be new things.
Yeah.
But the big picture, if you are familiar with Dungeon as a faction and Inferno as a faction, you already have, I think, a pretty good idea of what it's going to be.
Yes, the thing is, we kind of know what are the favorite creatures from the previous iterations of those lineups. We already discussed with a lot of fans about that, so things like the succubus side, I'm pretty sure nobody will say we don't want them, and we will try to use the vote to have you decide between new ideas, because this is what's most interesting, I think. Let's decide which new creatures should be in. Okay, I think the end is soon for this guy. Yep.
Yeah, there's a fun question about the return of the Forge faction. Well, the return of the Forge is actually, you know, it was never there to begin with. But actually, if someday we move, you know, forward in the timeline after Dark Messiah,
Wow.
I'd love to, you know, sort of campaign with Erwan Le Breton, the creative director of the franchise, to have a sort of steampunk Forge faction that would be fun. But yeah, that's just me, you know. It's not like an official announcement.
Maybe a mod. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You know, we have Bart Brimstone, the pirate dwarf, who was the one and only
Yes.
steamship in Ashen. So maybe, you know, he becomes a sort of leader.
for sure you can obtain some things that other people cannot obtain in these games. I know you have special power. Okay, so this is probably the end for this map, and I think we have to, yeah,
Victory is yours.
victory.
Thank you for watching this demo. But it's not over, so
No,
you
no,
can
don't
stay a
worry.
little bit more.
Do we still have questions pending?
Yeah, before we move to something else.
Yes, maybe we'll try to load something else to show you something new.
An interesting question, because you know, some people have seen that there are 8 creatures in town. So if an ultimate creature dwelling is already built, can it be destroyed? So you can change basically.
Oh, Rikanega, that's actually a very good question. The thing is, in Heroes 7, you have the possibility to destroy part of your own towns. The thing is, you can only destroy one whole level of it per day. So it's not a very precise tool. It's really a great sacrifice. You could use it to change your champion building. That's a possibility. You could also use it to destroy an opponent town that you've captured. And the fact that you cannot destroy everything in a turn is a way to not make this too powerful. Another idea which is interesting to discuss is that if you have the relevant ability, you can get some resources back from this process. When heroes who don't have the ability will simply lose all they invested. That's one of the things that I think might be tweaked again before the end of before the release of the game, because it's a very strong thing. But right now this is what we have, and until we play test it, this is how it's gonna be in Heroes 7. Yes.
I think there was a question, it disappeared from the list, but it was, yeah, it was about the hot seats. Vis-a-vis hot seat in Heroes 7, I think we pretty much can say that yes. I mean, can it be really be Heroes without hot seats?
I don't think so, and we intend to have everything classic game modes for Heroes will be there. Yes.
Okay. So people who joined us midway through, quick reminder, don't hesitate to go to the Shadow Council website, nnh7.com, because we are posting articles about the story, about the gameplay,
We gotta
about
quit that.
all this stuff. So yeah. Okay, so maybe we should try to show a little something that people have not seen already.
Yes. I think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. You need to be some mumbo jumbo technical stuff because it's out of the demo.
Yeah, we're actually opening the famed game map editor.
And we can, you know. Oh. Okay. Well, this actually is an editor, not the actual
Yes.
interface of the Heroes VII. Heroes VII.
Here we go. So this is a new battle map. Well, it's new. I think we have released screenshots of this battle map, but this is the real thing. So I like this one. It's set in a haven setting in a forest. There's nice lighting, and there is a crystal mine here. And we have, I think this is a haven magic hero, so some kind of beast, and our academy hero here also. And
So one thing, I think you said it already, but just in case for people who join, in Heroes VII we will have very different layouts of battle maps.
Yes.
Smaller ones, bigger ones, and some with lots of obstacles, some with not much obstacles.
Yes.
We really want to have variety of settings to keep battles always fresh and
yeah,
and
this
exciting.
is kind of a classic one, even if there are big obstacles, but it was really an objective for us to have more variety in battle maps, and even if it might create some unbalance sometimes, it's a tool we can use in campaigns, and so we can have extreme sizes. We won't probably use very extreme sizes, but they could be very long, very large, wide, crowded with obstacles, or empty, and they should provide specific situations that you will have to find the specific tactics for this map. So I think it's always interesting to have this kind of tool, and this is also something we decided to have very early in production. So now we have the tool to do that pretty simply. Okay. So, well, for the combat it will be quite of the same thing we already shown, but we don't have spells. Okay. So I'll use the hero attack. Hey, or maybe I'm just killing the new guy and nobody saw. Oh, he's dead already. Sorry.
His death animation is a bit,
Yes, it's not completely polished for sure, as everything in this version, but this was a bit weird.
We're really showing you something that's
Yeah,
not.
it's not been planned to be shown, but who cares? Oh yeah,
Nice sweep.
I think this was it's disappeared. Sorry, we're disappearing everything you haven't seen. That was the upgraded version of the arcane bird, and this is also
And basically, also, the name Magic Bird, Arcane Bird, it's names we have been using internally,
yeah.
but they are not the final names of the units. So, yeah, when we reveal the whole Academy lineup, you will know the final names.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, don't forget, visit mmh7.com.
Yes, express yourself. We need that, So this is also a classic heaven unit. It's well, now I don't know if it's called. I don't want to use the old name, but it's probably a cavalier.
Yeah.
And he has the classic charge ability. So the more he moves before he attacks, the more damage he does. And this is gonna hurt, but the camera is not great there. Okay. Well, this was quite short. Alas, the map is nice, but the battle is not set up to be very balanced. So, oh, you know what? I can do that again.
No, actually you can't.
Oh, it doesn't work.
You break everything.
That's what happens when you play with toys you're not supposed to touch. Okay, so I guess that's it for this battle. Any questions pending?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think actually there's currently another vote. We talked about the faction vote, but there's another vote on the website right now, and I think it's ending today. Actually tonight. It's a vote about the figurines, the statue.
Oh yeah.
We put in the collector edition. Of
You're
the
right. Is it ending today already? Yeah, this is very important for you to choose now because it's going to be ending in a few hours, I suppose. So yes, it's the figurine for the collector edition. So it's representing Ivan, our main hero, and yeah, I made my choice already.
Yeah, so basically you have two posings. You can have Ivan as a strategist or Ivan as a warrior, and yeah. So don't hesitate. Everyone can go. Just need to register to the website, and you can log in and you can vote. And yeah, and we really want to have a variety of votes on this. Not only the huge votes like choose a faction. That's pretty huge for us as far as production is concerned. Is quite challenging. But we also want to have smaller votes on smaller things, like for instance what you will have in the box. So yeah, don't hesitate to come and vote. And a few days ago we updated the websites. We added the whole even lineup on the site.
So we're now back on the website, and we can show you how the faction pages look like.
Mosquito PL is asking if we will be able to convert town after destroying all buildings.
No, we removed the conversion town system, so you would have to live with the kind of town you'll find. We also think that is an interesting thing to have in the game, because conversion tended to transform all the towns of a map in the winning players faction, and it's a very strong positive feedback, because when you have to capture, it's already an effort, and if you have to reconvert because it's not your town, it's very harsh. And again, there has been some discussions about if it's not making things more difficult if the map doesn't fit your faction, but again, it would be even worse if one of the players is converting many towns to a faction that is not yours. So at this point, there is no conversion in Heroes VII. So back on the site. So I think we have now the image of the Haven web page on the mmh.com site. So we have now a presentation in detail. So this is the official with the official name and stuff from the Haven lineup. As you can see, you have the creatures. You have 8 creatures in 3 categories: core, elite, and champions. And what we call the warfare units. We discussed what we took back from the old games, and we kind of wanted to have again the war machines from the previous games, but in a different form. So we call them warfare units because they're not necessarily machines anymore. So basically, the healing tent from the old games, we called it the support warfare unit. It heals and it helps your troops on the field. And in Heroes VII for Haven, it's the sister, right? As the priestess that used to be a creature in your army in Heroes 6, and in Heroes 7 they are much rarer, and that's why you can only have one for your army, and it can help you heal your troops. You have the ballista, which is a classic attack unit. It just does range damage once a turn, and the catapult is used only in sieges. But you will see that for other factions, this can be different from simple machines. So let's take a look at this very nice feature. We are able to show you the 3D models of the units on the web page. So this is the crossbowman, and I think you can also see the upgrade version.
It's in the corner, small.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's pretty nice. You have different animations playing, and you have basically all the creatures of the lineup. So I think we'd like to have that for all the upcoming factions. I'm not sure.
Eventually.
Yes, we all want that.
I saw there was a question about the story, like will it be another Eclipse scenario with all the demons attacking and stuff? Actually, no. Maybe that's something we can say a bit. We say more about the story on the website once again. But basically in Heroes 7 we are 10 years after an eclipse. So that's in the past. And it's a civil war in the Holy Empire. All the duchies are fighting each other because the Empress, the Falcon Empress Maevi, is dead. And we are following Ivan, the Duke of Griffin, And people who are familiar with the lore of Ashan know that Ivan is the one who becomes emperor in the future. But when we meet him, the civil war has been raging on for 10 years, he's in debt, and he gathers a council around him with representatives of various factions, and because he needs their advice, and each of them will tell him a story of great heroes from the past, some well-known, some not so well-known, and how they dealt with some pretty tough crises. And from these stories, Ivan will get the wisdom he needs to take his decision. So we are, basically we are in the same kind of structure as in Heroes 4. I mean, each faction will have a campaign that is its own story, but we have also a sort of meta plot that is a council, Ivan's council, that is tying things together. So yeah, this time no eclipse in the story.
Exactly. It's fresh. It's new.
Hopefully people will like it. We certainly do.
We hope that for sure. Now, there are a few surprises in the structure of the game, and I think it will be very interesting to play.
A little something funny. If you go back on the Haven creature, one of them, for instance, I don't know.
Which one do you like most?
For instance, the Guardian.
Ah, the girl. I knew it.
Yeah. And actually, we are gamers and we played video games for ages. And
Shame to say how long has that been.
And we wanted to have a little Easter egg in the pages, so we paid tribute to a very famous cheat code from video games. That's a Konami code. So hello to our friends at Konami. We, if you do the Konami code, so that's up, down, down, left, right, B, A. Something funny happens. So yeah, you can try this on every creature, and in the future, on the future creature as well.
We like that move.
You want to dance with that?
We have a question from Logical Dust, who's asking if you guys play your own games. Well, that's an interesting question.
I hope you're not, trolling us.
I think that's trolling, but I would be clearly, if you're a game designer and you're not playing your own game, you probably should do some other job. So, if you're talking about the past Heroes games, yes, I think Julien probably played more than I, but yes, we did, and we're playing this one. It's not finished, so it's not very fun, but obviously we are playing them.
Yeah, and when you are making game, you spend all the time you have at work, in the evening, in the weekend, playing your game, because sometimes when the game is finished, you have to play something else, because you spend so much time playing it in all the stages of development.
Yeah, it becomes a bit crazy in the end. So any new question? So I think I shown the vote for the figurine. It's on the page now. So remember, you can also vote for Dungeon versus Inferno. Well, I'm not logged right now, so I don't have the numbers, but I'm pretty sure it's still very tight.
And you have 2 weeks
left to have the community decide. Yeah. This is an example of the lore article that Julian's making. So
actually, credit.
It's a team effort, I know.
Yes, this is based on a text that was written by Kurt McClung, who is a lead writer on Heroes 7.
Okay, yeah.
So he's been writing since I think he started on Tribes of the East.
Yes.
And he wrote quite a few of the campaigns in Heroes 6 as well, and he's a lead writer on Heroes 7. And yeah, he wrote Ivan's biography, and
yes.
I adapted it a little bit.
And you wrote a lot of the lore of the universe of Ashan, I know that.
And I added a few puns because I'm a punster, I'm afraid to say.
Yes, I think we have a question regarding the tears and blood systems. It was the reputation system in Hero 6, and yes, we are removing that for many reasons. One of them is that we felt that it was a lot of effort for not so much benefit. Well, it was nice to see our hero evolve and get new abilities, but at the same time, I think it was a bit trapping you in a certain kind of behavior. So if you wanted to get the points in one of the categories, you would behave a different way, and so we kept the idea that you could be more of an offensive hero, more of a defensive hero, but that's in the class system and it's not a reputation anymore, and you cannot switch from neutral to one of those sides.
A low question from Mr. Catfish, who has a question about Nagas. So I think he's a Naga himself in disguise with such an alias. Can you tell us what the Nagas are doing while Ivan is seizing the throne? Weren't they in good terms with the Wolf Duchy? Well, they were in good terms back in when Irina was Duchess. So that's a couple of centuries before Heroes VII. I don't know actually what the status of the diplomatic relationships between the Wolf Duchy and the Nagas in Heroes VII.
Yeah. At this time, I think it's safe to say the relationships are quite scarce, and maybe they're still friends. But
in any case, Nagas, they have a tendency, since most of their empire is underwater, so they do a lot of stuff, but not so much on the surface world. Yeah, hopefully, if the game sells well again, and we can, complete our secret plan of bringing all factions of Ashen in Heroes VII at some point, we'll revisit the Nagas. And
yep. Wow, that's quite a long question. This is not so serious.
You mean the question about the week of the ancients and stuff like that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I was talking a bit earlier. Maybe you missed it if you came midway through the switch, that we put a few references to the old games in the Ashen, the game set in Ashen. So in Heroes 6 we had this week of the ancients that sometimes triggered and was a little joke about the science fiction background of the newer computing games. And then of course in Might and Magic 10 Legacy there were even more of these references, and some actually very straight references and cameos from characters from the old universe. We will try to keep this kind of references in future games. That will never be something that will come to the forefront of the Ashen games, because Ashen is really a magical universe where you won't see cyborgs and spaceships anytime soon, I think.
Yep.
So I really can't answer questions that are a bit too technical about, these Easter eggs and cameos in previous games. But I believe in, it's my belief as a fan that the new
battle map, if they will get away.
Basically, in Heroes 5, there were times when you just enter the fight and first thing the enemy is surrendering or fleeing.
Okay, so you're basically talking about a bug, I would say. I don't think that was intentional in Heroes 5. So no, I don't think it will happen, because if you start a battle and the enemy is so weak compared to you that he would flee, I think you would have the option of surrendering, or you would just slaughter them.
And I know that one of the senior engineers in Limbic is very keen on the question of artificial intelligence and stuff like that. And
yes,
so that's a topic that they have on their mind. To have a really very cool AI in Heroes 7. We'll see how it turns out.
A question from Noobstromo, who's asking, will each hero have a special ability that makes him or her unique? They will have specializations like in previous games. Most of specializations will be not exactly unique, but some of them will be found on multiple heroes. But in the main heroes from the campaigns, some of them will have unique abilities. Like Ivan, if he would be playable, he would have something very specific to who he is, and that would be unique, yes. A long question again, probably regarding initiative, but I think it's going to be answered shortly. We have a system that is very similar than the one in Heroes VI. We made a few changes, but we made a lot of iterations on that because we tried different things. We didn't want to go back to the dynamic initiative like in Heroes V, which is an interesting system, but we felt that it was very difficult to keep in control. So what we wanted to keep is that your hero can act when one of your creatures can act, and creatures have initiative values that give them an order, and you can influence that with abilities and spells. And so that's basically quite like in Heroes 6, but we want to make the hero more part of this and not completely separated with an ability that is kind of another system which it's with its own counter, etc. So yes, you will have more details probably in the future in an article, but it's quite a complex topic.
I see Castor Arcanet is asking us about the fan projects, and if we are aware about such projects like Horn of the Abyss and stuff like that. And of course we're keeping an eye on what the community is doing, and really it's very great and I think humbling that the community is continuing to create things like fan-made expansions for Heroes 3, for instance, sure. Adding towns and stuff like that. And you know, and personally, I mean, I joined the Heroes team because I did a fan project in the first place. So especially for me, it's something I'm really keen on, and yeah, I think hopefully with Heroes 7 we can really support fan projects and you know create some platform for people and
yes,
to really share their work. It's really early, you know, to talk about that, but that's something that's very close to our hearts. And in the meantime, you can already come to the website and you know talk about your projects on the comments. You know, I'm sure a lot of fans will enjoy knowing about them.
Yes, we really want the community to be active again with this game, and this time we think with all the internet allows us to do, we would be able to support them, to highlight what they do, so they can share their work, and we will really encourage everyone to do some stuff, maps, I don't know, maps, everything, and we want to help you do that for sure.
Question about from Rikan Nega about the dynasty weapons from Heroes 6. Are they out? I think they are actually in that form anyway.
Yes, in the form that they were with the XP and controlled by the dynasty system. When you were online, this is gone, and you will still have powerful weapons, but it's not the dynasty system as in the Heroes 6.
Okay, so one last question. Bemutató.
That's a good one.
He's asking why our movement bars are full. I mean, on the visual for the Twitch page.
Yes, well, we didn't move from half an hour. That's the reason, I think.
Yeah, because you know, did you guys start your day in the office? I wish. Actually, you know, it's like 7:30 in the evening here. So starting, you know, I have a headache and I'm a bit tired. So yeah, I think it's a good question to actually end this Twitch on. It was really great showing you guys the game, even if it's a very early pre-alpha demo and not many new things compared to what you already saw at Gamescom or Igromir. But thank you very much for following this Twitch.
Thank you.
You can come to mmh7.com to follow the development of the game
and vote on many features. And every week we try to have articles talking about either the lore or the gameplay of what we are doing,
and of course you can comment and leave your opinion. So yeah, come and visit us. The game is released next year, 2015, and we won't be more precise than that right now. But that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it for today. So
Thank you very
again.
much, and a good day if you are still in the day. Good night if it's the night in your part of the world, and bye bye.
Goodbye.